So.
Congratulations on the film, first of all. It's such an original story. Could you tell us how that came about?
Well, first of all, I need to level with you guys. I'm super hungover. So if I don't make any sense, it's like I just lost some brain cells at your fabulous place in the box. Okay. Where did this come from? Well, it's a bit dark in here, so I figured I'd work some stuff out and put it on there and give it to you and lighten my load. So far so good. I guess, I mean, it's kind of a long answer. I'm meant to keep things brief, but I've struggled with fertility. I tried to have a kid, and I couldn't, and still can't, for 8 years, and that was a bit of a dark path. And so I sort of took that that grief or that loss, and sort of imagined sort of a worst case scenario, and the birth of Linda. And I'm always curious about how people cope with things, and denial is a good one, and delusion is an even better one. So that was that, and the character of Emanuel, I think, is also sort of dealing with loss and abandonment. And my mom was an actress when I was growing up, and she'd take off to do movies and stuff, and go for 60 days or whatever. And when you're a kid, that just people disappearing on you is not a fun bit of business. And then I managed to lose her to addiction for a while. I've got her back now. But it's sort of, I think as artists you just sort of like process your stuff through your art so that you can stay relatively sane. I hope that answers it.
Other question? No, yes, sir.
If you'd like some vodka to aid the hangover, I've got vodka.
Oh, fantastic.
That can help.
Thank you. I might take you from that. I've scared people with my answer. They're like, don't upset the girl.
So I'm going to think of the question, but I want to ask you one thing about what you just said, which is just that, like, one of the things I really love about this movie is that the things that you've described, coping, they're very internalized things, and yet they have a fantastic way of coming out here. That you found, sort of this really interesting relationship. You found a way to bring her out of her mind, some of the dream sequences and stuff like that. So maybe talk a little bit about the process of where you started, which was coping, and actually writing a script. Like, what were some story strands that came? What were some discoveries that came? Like, how did you come up with what ends up being a script that external artists all about?
I only kept track of 5% of that. Bloody hell, that went on forever. Well, I mean, the truth of the matter is that I started writing this script for Rooney Mara because I did a film with her called Tanner Hall. Can't even remember the name of that. And she was out of a job, and I was out of a job, and I was like, I'll write you your job. And then I didn't realize it was going to take me 3 years to raise the money. And by that point, she was Rooney Mara. And also she was too old to play a teenager. But I'm not at all answering your question because I've completely forgotten it because it was so long. But I think, I don't know, I think I just sit down to write, and I think, like, when it's on, it's on, and I feel like I'm sort of tapping into the source. And the characters just kind of do what they do and say what they say, and I'm just kind of the scribe, to be honest. I'd like to take credit, but I can't. I just sort of am, once it's on, once they've come to life, they're just kind of doing their own thing, and you realize even with a film, like, it ends up telling you what it wants to be, where it wants to go, and you're just kind of in its service for life, it turns out. So there you have it.
Okay, lest I ask another long, convoluted question.
Yeah, please help me.
Better, more crisp one. Yes, ma'am.
You mentioned that the script was originally written for Rooney Mara. How did you cast Kea Scodelario as Emanuel, and why?
Well, Rooney's a super high bar to meet. So I was determined not to make this movie unless I found a comparable actress, and I really did with Kaya. I literally met with every girl in that age range in Los Angeles, like months and months of it. I had a very patient casting director, and also it was kind of a fun process, so I wasn't going to stop it. But I couldn't find her, not because there aren't incredible actresses in LA, because there really are, and I really did meet them, but none of them were Emanuel. And to me, the way that I cast is I really look for the essence of the character in that human actor. And when I met Kaya, I just knew that, you know, that she had a very big piece of her heart that was Emanuel, you know. So so that was that. And she sent me her audition, like, you know, through Skype or however they send it. And I can't even say that it was the best audition, because it really wasn't. But I knew she was a girl, and I knew she was going to deliver, and she did.
Yes.
Where did the idea of water and fishes come from?
I don't know. I just have a fascination with water. Like, I really try to get myself in some body of water at least once a day. I don't know. I love water. That's why I named my company Pisces Rising. I am a Pisces Rising. Maybe I was a fish in a former life. I have no idea. Because like whenever I snorkel, it's the only time I'm ever at peace. I've totally recognized what's going on down there more than I do out here. So. And also, you know, it's just, I don't know, it just came to me when I was writing, and it seemed like a good idea at the time, and then when I hired myself to direct it, I was like, what the fuck? Like, how am I gonna, like, really, that was such a terrible idea, and how are you gonna do this with, like, you know, $2 and change? But, you know, we did it, somehow we did it. I was like, I flashed it out now. It was so painful and difficult. But well worth it. I'm not supposed to say because, like, I don't know why, but, like, you know, I don't know. You're supposed to say, like, it was made for a lot less to, like, impress people, and then you're supposed to say it's a lot more so that you get paid more for them to buy it. So, in short, I can't say, but it was not made for a lot. I'd say under $1 million US dollars. I guess I can say that. Just keep it to yourself.
Yes.
Have audiences reacted to different parts of the film in ways that you weren't anticipating, particularly the laughter?
I love the laughter.
Yeah.
It really puts me at ease when I hear that, because I feel like, I don't know, sometimes when I don't hear it, then I get nervous. I get nervous that it's like an uptight crowd. And also because, you know, because I think it's important to laugh, and I think, you know, I did put humor in there, and so then I get worried that it's not coming across. And, you know, and I think, you know, one of the things that I like about this movie is that it doesn't fit into a box, you know what I mean? It's not just like a genre piece, and it's not just a thriller, and it has humor, and it has some lyricism, and it has some, you know, magical realism, all that bit of business. So, you know, maybe it's going to make it super hard to sell, but it was fun to make.
Right.
I don't know. But I love the laughter. I'm always like, yes! And then I can leave and go have a hot dog and come back.
How long did it actually take for you to write it? I mean, you mentioned before that it was a personal experience, so because it was a personal experience, did it take a lot, you know, longer, or was it like shorter?
I didn't really take, I mean, it took maybe like 4 to 6 months to write. And, you know, writing a script for sure is rewriting. That's all you're ever doing all the time. So, but I'd say the bulk of it was maybe like a 6-month journey. Really, the longest was just raising the money, because that's just like took forever. Maybe because I'm lousy at it, or maybe because it's hard to raise money for, you know, for female-driven, you know, dramas. You know, it's like it's gonna be great. It's about loss and salvation. You know, and he's like, oh, where can I sign up? Let me give you money. It didn't really work out like that. So you had to trick them. It has Alfred Molina. He's the star. Yeah.
Probably have time for 1 or 2 more. Yes, sir.
I think it's just in your mind. What's wrong with you? Now you've got to go write a movie. No, I think no, she doesn't. But she is a British baby, however. I like scoured the internet to like find the right baby, and then I found her on eBay, and then I was bidding on her, and I lost her, and I was like prepared to pay all sorts of money. Like these babies go for like buttloads. But then I like tracked down the reborn artist to some like little town in England, Cheryl Van Pelter or something, And she was kind enough to make me two Chloe's because I told her I was going to be drowning one of them. But she wasn't too pleased about. I'm actually nervous about her seeing the movie. I think she has no idea what she got Chloe into. But yeah, I mean, so really, it's like this cast is actually including, if we include Chloe's, more British than anything else. We've got Kaya and Alfred, and Chloe and Aniran. And Aniran and Kaya is why I'm so hungover, because they're like, we'll just go out drinking for a little bit, and it's like 4 in the morning. I'm like, oh my god, I'm like twice your age, and I'm gonna be so fucked.
All right. Yes, sir.
Oh, thank you.
Has it helped you to move on? And if so, what are you doing now?
Look at me, I'm a picture of health. And what I'm doing now, I'm looking for a job, if anyone would like to hire me. Very reliable. No, honestly, I am looking for a job because this is my second round with the writing and producing and directing, and I'm just like, right, I just really want to just do one of those jobs. And I'm going to direct. Is my plan anyways. So I'm just reading a bunch of scripts. I actually read one script that takes place half here and half in the States, and I was like, oh, that'd be fun. Because I do want to work here. I actually tried to set this movie up here like 2 years ago because you guys have better like funding, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, Channel 4 or something. And I was like trying to get my paws in there, but they were having none of it. But it's their loss. You know that now.
Last one there. Yeah.
Yeah, just to follow up on the previous question, are there any specific themes you want to explore in your arts? Specific questions you want to
grappling with as a human. I don't know. I mean, I think loss is a pretty big one. I mean, for me, anyways. I think, like, you know, because we're all headed that way to some sort of like ending, and like I can't. Even just this morning, I like woke up with a thought, like, oh my God, like, am I gonna die before my brother? Am I gonna have to like bury that fuck? I was just like, I was dark. It was a dark morning because I was so hungover. I don't usually wake up thinking about that, but I think loss for me is something that is always a part of it. I think water, strangely, I mean, I was a songwriter, not a very good one, but I was one before this, and I realized there was water in like all of my songs. So I'm a bit of a broken record. I don't know. I think desire is another one. Why not? I don't know. Yeah, I guess the answer is yes. I think most artists are sort of like stay in their little pond of like a couple of themes that they just like, you know, try to work out in some fashion. I mean, it's meant to be cheaper than therapy, but it's really not. It turns out.
All right, thank you all for
Thank you.